All right, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Ruchakodash. One of your double honors to our apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who continue to rule well and guide us through the Spirit. And double honors to their teachers as well. Peace and blessings, shalom to the Most High's hopeful elect across the four corners of the earth. I'm the brother Yagadal, number one, back with another lesson, all right, from GMS Houston. Okay. All right, in this lesson, man, I want to go into a question that I asked chat, okay, which was just due to me meditating through the hot topic, which was a brother that I was out speaking. All right, and then the Edomite came up, ran up on him with whether it was a real or fake gun, okay, and the Lord allowed him to subdue that demon. Okay, but it's just, thought first and foremost through the Spirit, man, we know we have to be on high alert, all right, because this is a part of the Lord's will. He's going to set up situations to where we're going to be tested, and we're going to, okay, and this brother, I feel that this wasn't a sign for, like, brothers to think, okay, yeah, I might get a chance to put my hands on Edomite, man. This is edifying on so many different levels, man. Okay, and that's what I've been meditating on, all right, over the past day. I was making sure we take the right messages out of what the Most High is doing, all right, taking the right messages out of what He is showing us in these last days, okay, and not letting opportunity for the flesh to influence your thinking or your decision making, okay, all right, but that video, it's gone viral. All right, I've seen it on Willie D's platform, along a lot of other platforms, but the video's gone viral, man. And initially, I took it as okay. Hey, the Lord is putting this out on the forefront even more and more. All right, but now you're gonna see a separation because I've been reading the comment boards. You're having majority of the people are siding with the brother. All right, which naturally, okay, but you still have the demons out there. You still have the ones who, no matter what you do, all right, how much it shows the truth of us, all right, being, hey, we're non-confrontational, all right, we're not out, we just out here teaching the Bible. There's still people are going to come at us and be false witnesses, man. Why? Because we're followers of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so we're going to be identified as those, oh, you one of them black Hebrew Israelites. Oh, you believe this, you follow that. All right, because everybody's is just this short in real generations where everybody's information is coming from 2 minute, 3 minute, 1 minute little quick videos, and they're getting all these nuggets of information. All right, good and bad, false and true. Okay, and they're comprising their own little personal doctrines. Okay, all right, but just as when the Lord was on after he was crucified, all right, hey, being called a Christian wasn't originally a good thing, man. Okay, so that's why I asked this question on chat. All right, it says, I asked, was being called a Christian a good thing or bad thing initially? Okay, so let's get into it. It says, great question. It actually has an interesting historical nuisance. Okay, Christians will consider them a nuisance, man. As the scriptures say, yeah, pestilent fellows, man. Okay, all right. That's why riots would break out in the marketplace where the disciples were speaking, because of the things that they were speaking were ruffling the feathers of the society, as we do today. Okay. I'd have to re-ask the question, all right, but it's still giving pretty much the same response. You know, you gotta, with chat, you gotta ask things a few times, all right, and as it adjusts, okay, you're dealing with AI that's constantly uploading and updating, okay, but it says originally being called a Christian was not considered a good thing, at least not by those outside of the early church. The term Christian first appears in the Bible in Acts 11 and 26, where it says the disciples, all right, it says were called Christians it says the disciples were called Christians first at Antioch. Okay, so let's read into why they were called that. All right, it says here's the key part. The name Christian, Greek. Okay, so that's another cut to you Israelites out there calling on Christ, man. All right, that's Greek, man. The Lord's name is not in a fucking Greek, man. Okay, it says Greek Christianos. It says means follower of Christ or belonging to Christ. Okay, so they were identifying who were the real followers of Yahweh Shai. Okay, but let's see why. All right, what was attached to being called that name? All right. Just like now, when somebody said, oh, you one of them black Hebrew Israelites, what's attached with that name? Okay. Which a lot of niggas with fringes are giving energy to that black Hebrew Israelite title, which we don't go by that shit, man. We are Hebrew Israelites. Okay. We're not associated with blackness in no fucking way. All right. But it says, but it was likely used by outsiders, often mocking or as an insult. The Roman and Greek populations viewed followers of Yahweh Shai as strange, rebellious, or even dangerous because they refused to worship the emperor or pagan gods. And this is the viewpoint that the world has on us. Okay. And you have camps that are sold out, all right, and are giving that militant energy, man. You got IUIC going and taking over church grounds, all right, and you're not even out there speaking. You walking around marching and screaming out a cadence, okay, in front of non-believers, man. There's nothing edifying about that, man. Okay, but you're adding fuel to the fire of putting that negative stigma on Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay, it says, so at first, the term Christian carried a negative or mocking tone, like calling someone a little Christ. It says, over time, however, believers embraced the name with pride, recognizing it as a badge of honor to suffer for Mashiach. All right, so see 1 Peter 4:16, if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in that name. Okay. So that shows, first of all, it shows you that the Israelites are jakes, man. Okay. Just how originally being called a nigga was a negative thing. Jake flipped it on Esau's ass and just took control of it, man. All right. Just use as a low level example of how an Israelite can take something that's an insult and then make it popular, man, or make it pop, so to speak. All right, so I want to get into some scriptures. Yeah, I'm gonna go on there and start in Matthew 24. All right, this is in the KJV. All right, because we are in the time spoken of here in Great Prophecy, man. All right, speaking of the end times. All right, so the enemies that's speaking about the end times, the world is gonna hate them, man. Okay, because you're telling them that your way of life is coming to an end. All right, the system that you've accepted, you embrace, you love, is coming to an end. Okay. So this is St. Matthew chapter 24, and I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, all these are the beginning of sorrows, speaking on a nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, rumors of war, all the things we see now are letting you know we're just in the beginning of sorrows. That means more sorrows, heavier sorrows are yet to come. Okay, but verse 9, it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So it's letting you know why this is going to happen, before this is going to happen to the true followers. All right, and even you cats that's not calling on the name, all right, that's just because you in IUIC or ISUBK or you part of Genesis that just want to come up and hate on GMS, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're identified as a so-called black Hebrew Israelite, I'm saying so-called because we don't associate with that black title, okay? All right, then you're going to be identified as one who's attached to the negative, all right, stigma that comes with it, man. Okay, so it don't matter what group you are. You go like just how right now. Does it matter? Oh, if you a legal a northern tribe, all right, that's legal. No, they just see a Mexican or a Hispanic and they, oh, you're illegal. You go back to your country and call in ICE, man. Okay, but we're gonna suffer for Yahweh Shai's sake, man. And this is what we have to go through, man, to obtain the kingdom of heaven, to show our faith. Okay, all right, to get to the point of the last temptation, which is the MOTB, man. Okay, but let's read on. It says, and then shall many be offended. All right, why? Because of the word, man. All right, just like that brother, the word was cutting up that Edomite. That's why he approached him. Okay, same thing, man. All right, and wait till this devil demonizes us. Wait till he chopping up videos and splicing clips and making us using AI to make us say all type of things, man. He's gonna make the world hate the men of the Lord, man. Okay? It says, it shall betray one another and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So this is something that we're gonna have to endure through. All right, we're gonna have to face this. We're gonna have to be ready to be labeled as a domestic tea. Okay, we're gonna have to be labeled as grapists and all these things, man. Okay, just as the Lord had false witnesses that were set up through the wicked high priest. Okay, at the time to do what? To come give false witness, man. And let's get that, man. Same thing is gonna happen with us, man. You'll never know who could pop up saying you did what to them. All right, things of that nature, man. Yeah, I was gonna get straight to the point, but I want to read a little bit above. This is St. Matthew 10, and I'm gonna start at verse 20 in the KJV. Well, verse 19. Nope, I gotta go up. All right, verse 16. All right, it's St. Matthew 10 and 16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And you got to remember, this was our own people, all right, that did this to Yahweh Shai. Okay? So the same energy that he received is the same energy we're going to receive, man. So it's going to be people of our own nationality that look like us that's going to be trying to deliver us up to the government, to whoever's putting out the wanted posters and identify these people, man. All right. The same energy is going to be on us, man. It says, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for my testimony against them and the Gentiles. All right, for his testimony against them and the Gentiles, man. Okay. All right. So the world is going to hate them. They already do, but now through instances like this, man. Okay. All right. Through that brother, that video, that brother having to put hands on that cracker going viral. Okay. Through IUIC, they've really become the face of Hebrew Israelites. All right, majority of people, when they hear about I done had blood brothers in other cities and shit call me and say, I saw your brothers out today. And the first thing he said, yeah, they was out there in purple and gold. So when people hear about being an Israelite, they associate it with IUIC, man, because they're the ones out there marching through the streets, man. All right. Posing as the true men of the Lord. Okay. It says, all right, so in there, like I said, they're helping add a negative stigma to being an Israelite and the doctrine in which we teach and what we're about and the overall message. Okay, it says, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. So, like I was watching Apostle Hard's video and he was playing Deacon Akai's video, all right, during his lesson and responding to it, or basically pretty much commentating through it, and that fucking idiot. I can't, man. It's hard to stomach listening to that dude, man. All right. I feel like I'm listening to a woman talk, man. Okay, the way you just so fucking animated and no, instead of watching the video with a spiritual eye, you watching it for some fucking entertainment, man. Okay, all right, but shit, lost my train of thought, man. Thinking about that fucking nigga, man. Oh yeah, he even made the statement. All right, he said, "Oh, if that was me, or what I would have done, and you don't know what you're gonna do until you're in that situation." Okay, that's like me. Yeah, I'd like to fucking. I got a warrior spirit in me, man. All right, to my knowledge, I'm Ruben. Okay. All right, I like to fucking fight. I like to fight since I was younger. That's all. We grew up with a manly vibration around us, man. Okay. But if I get in the fucking ring with a trained boxer, I'm going to get my ass whooped, man. Okay. I can't sit up there and see a street fighter fighting a boxer and then say, nah, he should have done this. I would have done that. No, I've never been in the ring and actually professionally fought. All right. So I can't say what I'm gonna do in a situation I've never been in. All right. But hey, when it comes to this time, the Lord's gonna already have it mapped out, man. That's why this is a thing of faith, man. All right, we're not tough guys. All right, we ain't street dudes. We ain't soldiers. We ain't warriors. All right, we men of the Lord, man. Okay, the Lord said, I'm sending sheep amongst wolves, man. Okay, now, yeah, fucking defend yourself if you got to. All right, but that's where the wisdom comes in, man. All right, as Apostle Tahar gave good sound advice not to be out there in the nighttime. Don't be out there by yourself, man. Okay. No, hey, sometimes you gotta, hey, before you see certain situations, hey, just pack up and get out of there, man. Okay, find you another spot to speak the next week, man. Okay, but let's get back to the scripture. Verse 20, it says, "For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved," just like it was worded, all right, in the 24th chapter, man. But that's what I wanted to get to, man. All right, we're going to be hated, all right, by the world for Yahweh's sake. Why? Because of the message, all right, which Yahweh came with, and we continue to preach, man. Okay, so I spoke about, all right, these false witnesses, man. Okay, so let's jump over here. And this is I'm gonna read this Mark 14 in the NLT. Where do I want to start? Let me get straight to the point. Okay, here it is. All right, this is Mark 14, and starting at verse 53 in the NLT, it says, Yahweh Shai before the council. It says, they took Yahweh Shai to the high priest's home, where the leading priests, the elders, and the teachers of the religious law had gathered. So they all gathered to what? To come against Yahweh Shai, all right, for the message that he was preaching. Okay, it says, meanwhile, Peter followed him at a distance and went right into the high priest's courtyard. There he sat with the guards, warming himself by the fire. Inside, the leading priests and the entire high council were trying to find evidence against Yahweh Shai so they could put him to death. And this is the same energy we're going to receive, man. Okay, it's not about, oh, I'm cool. Oh, I'm an Israelite. I wear fringes. All right, now I drink wine now. And all this other bull, Jake. Oh, we at the tabernacles. It's all a fucking game, man. This truth is not a gimmick, man. All right, there's gonna come a point in time that if you're identified as believing in Yahweh Shai, or even if you're talking about a black Christ, if you're believing in any Messiah outside of Jesus Christo, all right, the other white meat, all right, they're gonna want to see you dead, man. Okay, all right. So back in the scripture, it says, verse I'll start from the top of 55. It says, inside, the leading priests and the entire high council were trying to find evil against Yahushua, evidence against Yahushua, so they could put him to death, but they couldn't find any. All right, and just this was the main scripture I was thinking of, because, like I said, when you go on the comment boards with all these different platforms, people are siding with the brother. Okay, but you still have the demons out there that no matter what they see, what they hear, all right, they're going to paint us as the enemy. They're going to paint us as the problem. All right. It doesn't matter if you got a Bible in your hands. It don't matter how many precepts you bring out. You're the fucking problem. Okay. All right, but verse 56, it says, many false witnesses spoke against him, but they contradicted each other. In other words, their stories weren't lining up. Okay, it says, finally, some men stood up and gave this false testimony. We heard him say, I will destroy this temple made with human hands, and in 3 days I will build another made without hands. And they didn't realize he was talking about himself. That went completely over him. Okay. All right. It says, but even then they didn't get their story straight. Okay. So it still was okay that we need to, hey, before we come present this to the Romans and bring these charges against them, we got to have our shit together, man. Okay. Verse 60, it says, then the high priest stood up before the others and said, Yahushua, and asked Yahushua, well, aren't you going to answer these charges? What do you have to say for yourself? But Yahushua was silent and made no reply. Then the high priest asked him, are you the Messiah? Are you the blessed one? These are things we're going to deal with. All right. We're going to be questioned on, hey, what do we say is this? What do we believe in? All right. All these different things. We don't know how it's going to play out, but when we read these accounts, you really have to extrapolate and get into it. All right. Be that visionary. All right. We've been gifted with the vision. Use it, man. When you're reading these scriptures, man, you have to see, okay, no, this is coming to me. Okay. It's not going to be specifically like the accounts we read of. Okay. But we're going to have to deal with these things, man. Okay. So you look at the perfect example, Yahushua, how he reacted. Okay, it says, Yahushua said, I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated in the place of power at Yahweh's right hand and coming out of the clouds of heaven. So just how, hey, I use the apostles that always speak, man, get frustrated when General Yohana was being questioned and we don't hate white people. God hates white people. No, you should start telling the truth, man. That's why they don't put no cameras in front of Great Millstone, because all you're going to get is the raw truth that your fucking kingdom is going down. All right, you're going into slavery, and the true rulers that you have oppressed for all this time is getting ready to be placed back in their position, all right, in righteousness under who you ignorantly know as Jesus Christ. Okay, yes, America's going to be destroyed through thermonuclear fire. Yes, we're not down with this system, man. Okay, that's the energy, man. Okay, prepare to be, all right, delivered up. Prepare to be demonized. Okay, all right. And the only way you prepare is by, all right, praying and doing what you have to do to appease the Heavenly Father, continues to get an increase in faith and spiritual gifts to put your spiritual armor on to be able to withstand the wiles of the devil, man. Okay, so when we see these things play out, man, make sure you get the proper message and tie it into the scriptures and see, okay, this is why the Lord is showing us this right now, man. Okay, so we can be in the mindset, get on alert, keep our head on the swivel, be prepared, move with wisdom. Okay, because the famine of the word is coming, man. We're not going to be out on these streets bringing out precepts peacefully forever, man. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. All right, Lord willing, it was edifying. Once again, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops at Great Millstone who continue to rule well and guide us through the Spirit. Double honors to their teachers as well. All right, who laid down the bulk of the doctrine we teach. And peace and blessing, shalom to the Most High's hopeful elect. Keep fighting, keep pushing.